Yo, welcome to Hard Pass. I am your host, Jacques Slade. It's the show that is pumped and ready to consume every last bit of The Last Dance, especially if it has an oral history of this video, a dance-off featuring Michael Jordan, Horace Grant, and Scottie Pippen, while Charles Oakley lip-syncs Kool Moe Dee. Mike's created a lot of things. In this case, dancing is not one of them. All right, let's start with some hot takes. Even as the world continues to figure out how to navigate a way out of the COVID-19 pandemic, Twitter stays undefeated with the memes. They're also running neck and neck with Facebook and certain cable news channels for who can lie the most. But at least most organizations are keeping up and producing quality content. Like this one by Philadelphia Public Health, who updated the future sending an ex a sad text meme. I don't know why, but the face mask gets me every time. Salute Philly, and hope things are actually getting better over there. I mean, it could be worse. You could be a Shaun of the Dead movie poster, but in real life, like in Michigan. During this week's release of the Air Jordan 6 DMP, Jordan Brand produced images featuring athletes and friends of the brand sharing their own defining moments, including Tim Hardaway Jr. and the latest Jordan Brand signee, Stephon Gilmore. Kinda bum I wasn't invited to be one of these, because my defining moments would be something like the day I bought a green screen and placed the Kicks on Fire homepage in the back, or my first video unboxing, or maybe that time they let me inside Michael Jordan's house and it was totally legal. Wait, can we go back to that unboxing?
Spaceship. This is the Speedform Apollo. These are actually available now in stores for those that are wondering.
Wow, we have come a long way. So the San Diego Comic-Con, aka the biggest geek weekend of the year, aka my spirit animal, has been canceled due to the pandemic. It's probably the biggest blow to the summer convention season, which has already seen E3 and others take the year off. As much as it sucks for us fans of geeky stuff, it is for the best, especially if you've ever been or smelled a convention like Comic-Con on a Sunday. Boy. And yet, for some reason, Anime Expo 2020 at the LA Convention Center didn't bother to cancel their show in July until Comic-Con shut down. Yeah, sure I was going to go to that as long as they had bag checks, hands up checks, temperature checks, mask checks, and most importantly, portable showers. StockX is back in the news, and it's for the wrong reasons yet again. You'd think a company that just had to deal with privacy issues would maybe do a solid with their customers, but nope. They decided now is the time to announce a fee hike, with buyers paying an extra 3% just to get those Kurt Purple ones that should barely be above retail right now. It's like, I already feel shame paying hundreds of dollars for a Supreme brick. Now they're gonna add 3% more shame? Although, if I had my own reseller platform, I would literally place premiums on items like the Supreme brick just to see how bad they would want it. Like, Core Purple ones, 0 shame fees. Supreme Oreo cookies, 75% shame fee. In this week's, oh great, check out this boomer over here, the LA Times published an opinion piece about people who are getting a little too comfortable on their Zoom calls wearing just any old casual piece of clothing instead of usual work attire. As somebody who has a job that includes wearing cool stuff at all times in the description, I understand the responsibility of at least putting some thought into what you wear. But in these times, unless you have to meet a judge in Zoom court or take a meeting with Bob Iger, I think it's okay to wear that Microsoft 95 ugly Christmas sweater on a cool April afternoon. Okay. Let's be real here for a second. Nobody likes the NCAA, the governing body of college athletics. We love the schools that compete in the NCAA and root for them with even greater passion sometimes than teams that represent our cities and states, but the NCAA themselves can go and suck. For example, I love the Oregon Ducks. I didn't go to the school there, but because I've been to Nike HQ a number of times and visited the Ducks campus in Eugene, I have a certain affinity for them. It also helps that they have such amazing gear and a cool mascot who may or may not be Donald Duck. I forget the timeline. Anyways, back to hating the NCAA. Instead of treating their athletes like partners who bring prestige and money to their respective institutions, they are seen as nothing more than cogs in the wheel who get thrown out and replaced when they are no longer deemed useful or their eligibility runs out. So, when I heard that Jalen Green, one of the nation's top recruits in basketball and potential lottery pick in the 2021 NBA draft, decided to forego the sham that is college sports and join the NBA's G League, I applauded it. Instead of pretending to be a freshman in college who was just living the life of a regular student like those tone-deaf NCAA commercials, Green gets to hone his craft, make some money, and maximize his potential in a newly developed system for elite prospects by the NBA. Not only that, according to ESPN's Nick DePaula, sneaker brands are now vying for the chance to sign Green. I disagree with the notion that this will somehow harm the sanctity and purity of college sports because it was never pure to begin with. It was always about which schools could recruit the best players and how far they were willing to bend the draconian rules to get those players. I mean, even Aunt Becky knows that the way to a school's heart is by having a top athlete for a kid, whether it was legit or just a fashion vlogger. By giving these athletes the chance to live their dreams and go pro as soon as possible, this opens up the possibility for other players in schools to shine. If the G League was available in early 2000s, maybe LeBron James and Carmelo Anthony might have gone there straight out of high school, but for someone like Dwayne Wade, he still gets to make a big run with Marquette in the NCAA tournament. In 2009, we never get to see Blake Griffin suit up for Oklahoma, but Davidson's Steph Curry still becomes a household name. If more top recruits go to the G League, schools like Kentucky, North Carolina, and Kansas just have to become more creative. That might not bring in multiple players who are five-star talents each year, but they'll be able to mold the ones they do get into stars. And the benefit for those players who need the 2 to 3 years with the John Calipari or Roy Williams, they'll get the college experience the olds keep yapping about while being able to build their own brands and nurture a following that will carry over to the pros. We'll still have great One Steining Shar videos as long as it's Luther Vandross or Teddy Pendergrass singing on them. Not only that, they'll get the dopest player exclusives in the country if they go to the right schools. In the long term, I see this as nothing but a positive for not only the NBA, but for the dumpster fire that is the NCAA. Or, these schools could just pay their athletes in their worth and we wouldn't be having this discussion. Either way, it's really fine by me. Let's get to the heat check, where we take a look at this week's upcoming releases. Got a nice variety this week without a Jordan Retro or a Yeezy 350 taking up all the attention, but I'm guessing the one pair people will really be talking about will really be hard to find by the time you watch this video or slightly afterwards. First up, we have the Jordan Why Not 03 Black Cement. That's going to be April 23rd for $130. Jordan Brand loves to borrow the Black Cement 3 blueprint for their Team Jordan releases, and the results aren't always great, but I have to admit it works well with Russ's latest silhouette. Doesn't mean it's going to be a super hit or anything like that. It just looks not half bad, that's all. Then we have the Adidas Yeezy Boost 700 MN VN Bone and Phosphor, April 23rd and 24th. Those are $220. So these are supposed to be region exclusives, but since Adidas stores are not open, do they just let anybody get it, or are they going to pivot basing it on the location of your app? Like, I live just outside of Los Angeles. Does that mean I'm not eligible to buy the Bone colorway on the 24th? I'm curious to see how Adidas plays this out. We'll see, I guess. Then we have the Levi's and New Balance 1300. Those are on the 24th for $200. Levi's teams up with New Balance for this high quality collaboration that uses premium denim and suede materials to give the 1300 a fresh look. Definitely a pair I would rock if I wanted to do a photo shoot in the Northwest while I try to find myself at my purpose, and we'll talk about that a little more later. Then we have the KD 13 Chill. Those are on the 24th for $160. So these are based on KD's favorite R&B playlist, hence the relaxing colors and vibe. Kind of bummed though it's not called the Quiet Storm, where you call in with your love song requests and dedications. Great. Now I need to know if Katie is into New Jack Swing. That would be really cool. Then we have the Nike Fear of God Triple Black. These are on the 25th for $350. I like them, just not $350 like them. That feels a little bit much, especially when Triple Black or their counterpart in Triple White sneakers tend to hit sales racks faster than the other colorways. Just my opinion there. And then we have my pick of the week, the Nike SB Dunk High 420 on April 20th, obviously. Now these are likely going to sell out fast and like super fast, but what I'm most curious about is whether or not these will spark a surge in attention to the Dunk High, which has been quietly kind of flying under the radar with all the Nike SB Dunk Low hype that's been going around. Guess we'll see. And now for this week's Hard Pass, where we take a look at something in the culture that just needs to go. Like David Brooks, an opinion writer for the New York Times, who loves nothing more than to troll the generations that came after him and how they are pampered and entitled. Yeah, Dave, how dare the generations that are dealing with the pandemics, recessions, wars, and the entitled senior citizens your generations ignored, built, or presided over have the nerve to be insulted by a column you posted with the headline, "The age of coddling is over." I agree, buddy, but it ain't our generation and the ones that come after me that's been coddled all this time. By the way, never thought I'd diss the LA and New York Times in a single episode of this show, but boomers are gonna boomer, I guess, and here we are. This week's hard pass goes to Nike's silence after Kanye West said that he was okay with the swoosh bringing back his Nike Air Yeezy line. It was a throwaway question in the GQ profile piece, which is Kanye's second huge interview in as many months after he got a Wall Street Journal magazine cover recently. Man, props to Kanye or something. The world might be on fire, but the promotion never stops. My guy is still out here designing fortresses of solitude in the middle of Wyoming and doing photo shoots like he's on the Oregon Trail. By the way, can we please do a hard pass on all the future profile and photo shoots of celebrities discovering themselves by going west and dressing like Dutch's gang in Red Dead Redemption? I know I'm not the only one to notice these, but they have to go. It's a tired trope at this point. Maybe go east next time. At least there you can go to Japan and get lost in translation with a Scarlett Johansson in a pink wig and do karaoke all night with random strangers. So, Nike has got to let their ego slide and do the right thing by all of us sneakerheads and hypebeasts and Kanye fans and retro all of the Air Yeezys now. I'm not saying Mark Parker has a vendetta against Kanye and has a stash of Yeezys sitting in his personal vault right now. I doubt he even cares. But what I do know is that Nike bringing back signature shoes without the signature athlete is not without precedent. For example, Kevin Garnett hasn't been a Nike guy for almost 2 decades now, and we've seen the Air Garnett 3 and the Flightposites return without any KG branding. Deion Sanders has been telling anybody who will listen, including me, that he's not getting a dime from all of those Diamond Turf retros. If Kevin Durant left Nike tomorrow to sign with another brand, I'm pretty sure we would see retros of the KD line a few years from now. They'll have to call it something else, like the Velvet Hoops or the Leo Changs or the Nope. That was a terrible idea for a nickname then, KD, and they're really problematic now. Man. But it is possible, like how Marvel kept on producing X-Men and Iron Man comics and movies after Jack Kirby left, or how Dragon Ball GT exists. The less we talk about that mistake, the better. I mean, who really would have thought this thing would be a good idea for Super Saiyan 4? Anyway, in a time when we are itching for something new to talk about and dissect the sneaker culture, even a tease that Nike is considering this would get us all hyped up. And don't hold back by making them as limited as before. Make them general releases that anybody can buy. Drop these long-lost samples for your limited drops on the Sneakers app and give us the chance to customize them on Nike by you. Wouldn't it be an excellent jab at Kanye if Nike actually made enough Air Yeezys for everybody while Adidas has to maintain a level of exclusivity and deal with the Kanye on a daily basis? It's all of the benefits and none of the headaches. An explanation as to why Nike wouldn't do this now is because Kanye is still relevant in the culture, even though I would fight against that slightly, and he's going strong with said Adidas partnership. Bringing back the Air Yeezys now would only benefit Adidas in the long term once the glow is gone and Solar Reds and Pure Platinums are as common as Jordan Retros. My take is that despite all of the sneaker success Kanye has had leaving Nike, he still hasn't made a pair that is as beloved in the culture as the Air Yeezy 2. And if Nike were to ever relaunch them with a new name that only alludes to Kanye, like the Nike Air Dawn 2 or the Nike Air Throne 2 or the Nike Air to the 2, they would sell like Jordan 1s. And the only people that would lose are the resellers who hung on to the originals all this time. Hey, they're casualties with everything. But really, I expect Nike to bring back the Yeezys someday. It could be next year or 20 years from now. Nothing ever really stays in the vault forever, especially if there's hype involved and there's money to be made. It just feels less and less petty as each year goes by, and I'm all about maximum petty sneaker drama. It gives us something to talk about here on this show. All right, that's gonna do it for the show today. Thank you guys for watching Hard Pass. I am Jacques Slade. I'll see you again next week, but not before I show you why cats are like the Wu-Tang Clan. They ain't nothing to F with. Peace.
Babe, are you going to bed? How'd you get under there? Oh, I'm sorry. Good night.